Where Labour's leader Sir Keir Starmer is in The Hague seeking a provisional security arrangement with the EU, which he says would allow a Labour government to smash the people smuggling gangs.
He says they should be treated on a par with terrorists. But the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, says any future deal with the EU would allow the UK to become what she says a dumping ground for migrants. Let's speak to our Home and Security editor, Mark White. Hi to you, Mark. Let's analyse this a little bit more. Is Keir Starmer trying to put a big dividing line now, then, between him and what the Tories want to do?
That's exactly what he's trying to do. He wants to ensure that whatever and however effective it might be, the Labour policy is different to the Conservative policy. So it's clear that the route he wants to go through, as you know, if Labour get into power, is to try to encourage the National Crime Agency and other investigative agencies to go after the people smugglers, so on the law enforcement side of things. And he also wants to strengthen cooperation with the European Union with a view to try to get some kind of a returns agreement.
Yeah, which Downing Street in the last few moments has said that it was open to a returns deal with the EU, but would not accept a quota of migrants in exchange.
I don't even know what that means, because there's no way that you would get a returns agreement with the European Union without accepting a quota of migrants in return. What is in it for the European Union?
He says he wants to put all this on the same footing as terrorism, and he's gone to speak to this outfit called Europol. What is Europol? Because we normally are familiar with Interpol in terms of policing on the ground. I mean, is there this crack team to actually go after the migrant gangs?
Not quite.
Right.
It's not a law enforcement agency in the sort of how you would normally understand it in terms of investigating and being able to sort of arrest people. It has no executive powers, no powers of arrest or investigation.
So it's backroom bureaucrats.
It is. It's intelligence sharing. It's about bringing greater levels of cooperation between law enforcement agencies right across Europe and beyond. And in that, it is effective. It helps share some very important information on ongoing investigations. So it is of use in that sense.
Also, what appears to be significant from what Sir Keir Starmer's plan is that this Rwanda plan would be buried.
Yes, I mean, he said that for a while, that the Labour government, if that is what we see at the end of the day, would scrap a Rwanda deal because they feel that it's cruel and inhumane. So you wouldn't get a Rwanda deal. And so it's only the Conservatives that are pushing ahead with a Rwanda deal, which is absolutely pivotal to the way in which the Conservatives see their policy of trying to deal with the small boat crisis. It's all about declaring those that come across the channel as illegal immigrants, denying the vast majority of them the right to claim asylum, and those that can't be returned to their home country because we don't have a returns agreement with them. That could be Iran or Afghanistan, Syria and alike. They would be sent to Rwanda. That is the plan, if they ever get it off the ground.
Yeah, the Prime Minister has been speaking on this today. I mean, they are sticking to this line, stop the boats, whereas clearly Starmer is going, stop the gangs. How much different that approach would be on the ground?
Well, I'm not sure that it would be massively different, because the National Crime Agency anyway is very significantly involved in the fight against people smuggling gangs on the other side of the channel. There have been 700 arrests in the last couple of years related to people smuggling operations. So, yeah, there might be a bit more money. There might be, a political onus on them to concentrate even more on that fight. They have got other priorities as well, such as dealing with international drug dealing. So there would need to be more in the way of resources for the National Crime Agency, and I think that would be coming from a Labour government. We have to say the Prime Minister has been responding to what Labour has said today. Rishi Sunak, speaking in North Devon, this is what he said.
Keir Starmer spent all of this year voting against our Stop the Boats bill, the toughest legislation that any government has passed to tackle illegal migration. I think he spent most of last year voting against a previous bill, which has since then led to almost 700 arrests related to organised immigration crime. So I don't think it's credible that he really wants to grip this problem, and his plans today seem to amount to saying that we might one day accept 100,000 EU migrants every year. That doesn't seem like a credible plan to me to stop the boats. Meanwhile, we are getting on and delivering. For the first time ever this year, the number of small boat arrivals is down by almost a fifth. The number of illegal migrants crossing from Albania is down by 90%. We've got a plan. The plan is delivering, and I'm determined to stop the boats.
Mark, when we talk about Starmer with this phrase, smash the gangs, what is our intelligence about how many gangs, how many people are involved and how sophisticated they are?
Well, they have become much more sophisticated. It tends to be controlled by Kurdish gangs at the moment, in cooperation for most of the time with other criminal networks. So they're the kind of facilitators that do the actual organising around the camps, get the boats, get people into them, but they work in conjunction with other organised crime groups in various countries. And yeah, they're very well established. And the problem is it's a bit like the fight against international drug running. You know, it's a massive, massive issue that countries all around the world have grappled with for generations now and have never really made any significant impact. And they have successes from time to time, big major drugs busts. But of course, you know, the drug dealers build that into their model anyway. They accept a certain number of losses. And of course, you take one big gang out, another goes in. And
they're making more money from people smuggling than they are from drug smuggling.
They are. It's a very, very lucrative business. So, quick calculation from you, Pip. If you get about 60 on a boat, as they're averaging at the moment, £3,000 per head is
180,000.
There you go, 180,000.
Wow.
That's just one boat trip. It costs about maybe £10,000 to get the boat, the outboard engine, the boat itself, and to transport it.
And they're offering deals, aren't they?
Yeah.
These 2-for-1 deals they offer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily 3,000 for them all. Some get a reduced rate if they go and work for the gangs when they get to the UK. But, yeah, it's very, very lucrative because that's, as you say, 180,000 potentially for one boat. Well, you can get easily, you know, 5 to 10 boats in a day.
Yeah. Mark, thank you for that. Let's just update you. So Keir Starmer describing the government's response to his plans to seek closer cooperation with the EU as nonsense.